Hi everyone, it's Amber here again at Old Good Things. Today we're in our hardware department and we are going to teach you how to clean and polish your brass items at home. Today we're going to talk about solid brass and cast brass. Each of these have two different cleaning techniques, so we'll discuss that in our video here. So we'll be starting with solid brass, as in this drawer pull here. And the very first step you're going to want to take with any of these items is give it a nice bath. In here I just have some nice warm water and some mild dish detergent. Little old clean toothbrush too to help get inside those little grooves. Really you're just looking to get off all the dust, possible dirt, just build up from the item. This will help give it a nice clean base to polish in our next step. After you wash your item, you are going to want to take a clean, dry cloth to give this a really nice dry, just like your dishes at home. If your whole item has a substantial amount of paint on it, please refer back to our last video of how to remove paint from your antique hardware. When it's just little like this, a simple piece of wire will do. Now that we've washed and dried our item and took off a little bit of that paint as you saw, we are going to turn to our warehouse favorite, Jax. Jax is an instant brass and copper cleaner. It does come in other items, but this is what we're looking for today. If you'd like a more natural version, please refer to our blog where we have a couple recipes where you can make a cleaner out of kitchen items at home. All right, let's get down to business. So all you'll need is a couple simple items. Old rubber bin, old paintbrush, and I threw on a pair of simple gloves. Jax is really mild, but it can stain your skin a little bit, so that's why I like to wear mine. You're gonna take your item, place it in your bin, and then take your Jax. Jax does come in smaller bottles as well. So what I like to do is just pour a little bit of the Jax into my bin. And this is where our paintbrush is gonna come into handiness. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna start applying the Jax all over the item. You are gonna start seeing a change in the coloration rather rapidly. What we're taking off is the patina on this item, so years of aging, oxidation essentially. With some items you will be able to completely submerge it, but obviously in this case it's not going to happen. So this is where the paintbrush comes in, and you can really see the change that's starting to occur. So just take a little bit of time, just really work the product into the metal. This is just a simple animal hair brush, so you don't have to be real fancy with your brush type. Does look a little orange, do not worry. When we go to rinse it off, all of that will come right off. You are not dyeing it. All right, this is looking pretty good here. A lot of this last little bits and bobs will be easily removed at this point with a little wire wool. I will be showing you that as well. So I think we're ready to give this a little rinse. All right, now that we've applied the Jax, we're going to give this a quick rinse back in our warm water and soap bin to just get the last minute of that product off. And you can really see the transformation that's occurred. What I find really fun is you get to see that true brass color come up. Some brass goes a little bit more orange, some comes up a little bit more yellow. You can always do a spot test with the jacks as well, with a little Q-tip and a hidden area too, just to see if you rather keep your patina or not. Once you have that thoroughly rinsed, you're going to go back in with your cloth to dry that right on up again. All right, so now that we have washed, dried, applied the jacks, removed the jacks, our final stage here is going to be a little wire wool work. I like to use a nice fine wire wool, as you can see here, not too coarse, very pliable. And what you're going to do is simply give this a nice little buff. And this is really going to make this shine. Almost immediately, you can start seeing that result come through. You don't have to use a great deal of pressure. You don't want to damage the metal. I want to make a point that this item was not lacquered prior to. You can look in our blog if your item has lacquer on it. But really what we're doing here is we're just working off the last bit of that grime. Sometimes it's nice to leave a little bit of the aging marks. Sometimes they won't come off. It is on there permanently. But if you spend a little bit of time with this wire wool, you can really start seeing the difference. Just give it nice. I do like to wear gloves still when I'm working with wire wool, just to keep my fingers from not getting all buffed. Now you can see how nice and smooth that looks, how shiny that looks. Almost brand new. It's hard to almost even see the original drawer pull. And the very last step I like to do is just take that soft cloth again and just give it one last clean. Sometimes you'll pick up a little bit of that wire wool that's been left behind. Just really give it that last minute high polish gloss. And there you have it. All right, so we did our solid brass, and now we're gonna do our cast brass. A real easy way you can tell if you have solid or cast brass is just a simple magnet. This is solid brass, and you can tell it doesn't stick, whereas with our cast brass, it does stick. So if you find your item is cast brass, you are not going to want to put any sort of heavy chemical, harsh cleaner on this. That can really affect the finish on the item itself. So something simple as a nice warm bath with some mild soap in there, toothbrush to really kind of get into all those little crevices to get rid of the debris. You can go ahead and use a nice soft cloth to polish it up after it's cleansed. And you can get Brasso. That does tend to be okay with these items. But just really make sure you're reading your labels to make sure you are putting the right cleanser on these. So real simple with the cast brass, really just kind of treat it almost like a nice dirty dish and give it a little TLC afterwards.